Right, guys, let's be honest, we've now hit a new level of ninja fakery in the world. If you don't understand what's going on or what I'm talking about, and if you just come to all this, there's something that's simple that happened. From about 1910, the legend of the ninja started growing up from what was pre-modern, late medieval stuff into the modern concept of ninja. It escalated from 1910 all the way up through the 1960s, 70s, 80s, 90s, into the 2000s. And then myself and my team came along and we crushed all of that and brought it back down to historical reality by actually going round and doing some research. And then, instead of just making stuff up. And then that has killed the ninja, hence why I did the documentary, The Man Who Killed the Ninja, if you've not seen that. And then what happened is the love of ninjas died off a bit within the sort of history samurai community. But recently, in the last 3 or 4 years, and it's sort of really creeping up now, is some big YouTube channels have started making videos that are absolute nonsense and are absolutely incorrect and are based on really bad, based on the original image of the fantasy ninja. Now, you could just say, oh, maybe they just don't know about the research. The people putting this stuff out, A, know about me, B, know about the research, and they are channels which should absolutely be doing research to a decent level to produce it. I heavily contemplated thinking about naming the channels. I was like, do I not? But I just realized that starts a bit of a war, and I hate that sort of stuff. We got past all that, and the idea is that we're actually here to promote Japanese history. Well, first of all, Asian history. Japanese history specifically, with a tag on of Chinese history, because that is pretty much their two intertwinable. From there into ninja history and traditional military and martial arts ways. And this idea that we're going to make that into a very, the idea is a very modern understanding of how these original people lived. This was done for knights. It was absolutely done for knights, and they did it perfectly with all the stuff that went along with it. Knights in shining armour who couldn't get on their horses, they needed a winch to get up and all this. It's all gone. There's no dragons and towers anymore, and King Arthur wasn't the greatest man that ever lived, and his real knights were real people. We all now know that the knights were very real humans who were very brutal, but some were good, some were bad, many were mixed between the two, and that their equipment was excellent, and their siege warfare tactics, their retreat tactics, their movement, the political movements, all inside of it. But for some reason, when we get to the samurai, we started doing that and it's now slipped back in. So there is at least 4 or 5 big channels out there who specifically say they are dealing with ninja history and are selling this, specifically dealing with samurai history and Japanese military history, and are selling themselves as professional researchers who are giving you the truth. And they are producing outrageous videos on ninja history which don't belong in comic books. It's that bad. Keep them out of comic books. It's that bad. And so for my normal followers, you probably know who they are, but basically, guys, I don't know how we're going to beat it. Ideas below, how we're going to deal with it, what we're going to do to get rid of it. But their channels are so big that they are actually crushing whatever real research is doing, and they are damaging Japanese history for the sake of monetization and views and fame. I could have done that years ago. I could have lied to you all and just said, yeah, ninjas are assassins, yeah, ninja did this, yeah, and made a load of cash and become proper famous, but I didn't do it because I have integrity when it comes to history, okay? One thing I'd like to point out, guys, I have a degree from the University of Manchester. It's a very, very prestigious university in world rankings. I have a master's degree from the same university. And I'm not going to say it was easy. It was very difficult. And it was a very difficult university. And I'm glad I went there and I got that. I have a team who speak Japanese, who absolutely, not only that, have degrees in translation and speak Japanese. I also have, and they are well acquainted with medieval documentation. They also have trained themselves in Sosho to read cursive Japanese, yeah? I have a monk who deals with the Buddhist aspects. I have multiple contacts around Japan who will answer questions for me that need be, even ones dealing with the intricate local research in Iga. I have all that. I have lectured for the Japanese on the ninja. Now, in addition to that, basically, because I wanted to resurrect the school to teach all of this stuff properly, to get rid of the fakes, I contacted the original family. Oh, sorry, not contacted. I tracked down the gravesite of Natori Masayuzumi, which was lost for 300 years, 400 years. Myself and Yoshie did it. We found the family. We connected with the family. And then not only that, we got permission from them. We are aligned with the temple to make sure you guys get the sort of social, cultural aspects of Japanese society behind the reconstruction of the school. And it's not sort of just a LARPing thing. It's like, let's produce real information in as best a context, as best a version as we can, that you can understand it from the samurai's point of view, with the full backing of Japan. And for that, I was given, and for my work, I was given the title of official tourist ambassador for Wakayama for doing this work to bring it out to you. So when people say, and I've had it before, people say, why do you think, how are you qualified to say these things are fake? That's how I'm qualified to say these things are fake. And with over 15 years of tracking down historical documentation, putting teams together to put this stuff together, and researching to the nth degree, to the point where I research 24. Well, my job is basically every day, 7 days a week, apart from when I rest. That's it. Most people do this twice a week or at the weekends. This is my job. And I've been recognized by people in Japan for doing this job very, very well. And they are supporting me for that reason, and we have the connections all over. So simply these YouTube channels coming up and saying, hey, I read this in a random book, this is it, here's some ninja key facts. To do research, you have to go back to the medieval, the primary documents. If you can't get them in your language, or they're not in your language, which is probably not because they're ancient, you get specialists to translate them, which is what has been done. You then break them down and show how that information should be used by putting it across to the public in a very simple, easy to way. So you got the original documentation, the translations of the documentation, so people can compare the two, and then a simplified explanation of it, and then backed up with cultural aspects like, for example, the art of war. The art of war is fundamental in Japanese samurai society. So here is a breakdown, the simple version of understanding the art of war. So you can understand that it is a very big structured pyramid, so that you guys at the very peak can just get, oh, ninjas did that. And that's it. That's all that matters is, oh, ninjas did that. But yet big channels with million hits and millions of subscribers and hundreds of thousands of subscribers come along and go, fake. And just put fake stuff out there and then wreck years of research and study. Wreck is the wrong word. The research and study is still there, but they influence so many people for the sake of money and fame, and it's actually disappointing when we're all trying to put together and we're all invested in this correct image of the samurai. And if you're not, then you have to ask yourself, why are you not invested in real history, in the correct history, and engaging with the people of the past? There you go, guys. I hope you like that. Please tell me your stuff down below. If you do want to support me, the best thing to do is get one of the books. Get yourself a copy of The Art of War, or get yourself a copy of the Book of Ninja. My voice is crazy because I've got a cold, but there you go. Enjoy, everyone. And I'll tell you one thing, not going to stop. I'm going to keep going and keep going till these fakes shut up. Do you know what I mean? It's getting silly, isn't it? Just keep going and putting it out. So when people put out videos, they seem stupid for it. So I need your ideas to how we can build up our collective presence so that people will think twice about putting absolute nonsense online.